It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me is always my buddy, my coach, my pal, the man with a plan, the one and only, the man who's hyped today like me, who's excited, happy. We got another W. This is way better than last season. We're already way off better than last season. Only 2 wins last year. We got 3 wins this season. 2 for our rookie quarterback. You know what it is. My guy right here with me, John Meleka. I know he's happy today. John, how you doing, my man? How was your Thanksgiving? How was your weekend? How's it going over in Staten Island territory?
Oh, man. Everything is good right now in Staten Island territory. I wasn't outside today for the Jets game. I was indoors. We won the game. Thanksgiving weekend was good. Worked on Friday. But everything is good, man. It's officially we had those flurries in the morning. The sky was dark gray. The winter is literally coming right around the corner. Football season, NBA is about to start. Basically, Christmas right around the corner. I have a trip to Africa, and now we have the Omicron variant that just came out, so everyone's freaking out. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that trip, but fingers crossed everything will go all right. But that's it for me right now, man. I'm hyped, dude. I'm hyped about this New York Jets team and the wins, and we have a lot of discussions about Zack Wilson and the state of this Jets team. But before we get into that, how are you, man? How's your Thanksgiving? Come back to New York, visiting the good old Westchester Knicks hometown?
Oh, yeah, man. You know, I had to stop in my neck of the woods in Westchester. It was good, man. Got to hang out with the family, ate a lot, got to play a lot of pickup basketball. Shout out to David Zenon, Obi's trainer, Mason Plumlee's trainer, NBA trainer, grassroots trainer. You know what it is. Awesome guy. Great seeing him. Great to chop it up with him. And, you know, me and the wife had a great time just hanging out down there. It was a lot of fun, man. I'm happy. I'm always happy around this. Well, it's different this season, I should say. I'm usually happy around this time. This year is obviously different for personal reasons, but it was good just to be with the family and just to you know, eat a lot and get to, you know, reminisce, share stories, all that good stuff. But what makes it even better is not only did we have a really good win for the New York Knicks last night against the Atlanta Hawks, so we got slight revenge. You know, we gave the notice on the door saying, "Oh, we're here. Don't worry, we're still here. We're going to take care of you." And then to add on top of that, we got the New York Jets beating the Houston Texans in what I could say was another game in a row where it was decent complimentary play all around, except for a kicker. Matt Amendola, you are trash. I just suck, bro. You just suck. But from both the offensive side, defensive side, and most of special teams, it was good complimentary football for 2 weeks in a row. Sure, it was, you know, we had Zack Wilson this week, Joe Flacco last week, but very encouraging to see that our head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, everyone's just starting to come together. This team is starting to come together, show a little bit more life, just like they did at the beginning of the season when they defeated the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, man, looking pretty good. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I mean, you said it at the top where compared to last year, it's really night and day. And just last week, last week or 2 weeks ago, everybody's talking about how, you know, we're back to the same old Jets. We're never going to get it together. So that jump just in 1 week or 2 weeks is huge. And it all comes down to the coaching staff. You know, without Coach Saleh, like everybody tried to literally bring him all the way down and, you know, bring the narrative all the way back to, you know, the Jets' woes, as everyone likes to do, which sells papers, and I get. But Saleh was able to dispel all that. LaFleur was able to go up to the booth and never come back, and able to, you know, shout out to him for not only, you know, getting into a nice game plan today, which of course we're going to talk about, including the 2-point conversion with the fourth string quarterback at this point, which was pretty awesome. But just in general, on that same note, he's had to game plan for Zach Wilson, a rookie quarterback who's never done it before. Joe Flacco, who's coming in with an ego. Mike White, who has been around but doesn't really know what he's doing, and then all of a sudden goes to the Hall of Fame and thinks he should be the first pick, and then absolutely stinks. Like he's been having to deal with every single emotion, every single type of quarterback, and shout out to him for being able to get it together. And I'm starting to sense an identity with him, to be honest with you. And same with the defense, and same with Coach Saleh. And even special teams were looking okay as well, like you said. We have a ton of injuries, Alex, a ton of injuries. And it's not just us saying here complaining about it. It's apparent. We started the year as the youngest team, and we have the craziest injuries. How many edge rushers? How many safeties? Everybody's gone. Zach Wilson finally is back with a PCL, and he kind of tweaked it at the end there, which scares the absolute crap out of me. So it's not all, flowers in Jets land right now. But for now, I just like we're creating an identity. All right. We're not going to even be in the hunt this year. We're not even going to get in the graphic this year, but we're creating an identity. And obviously we need a tight end. Obviously we need to fix up the interior of our offensive line. But when you could pinpoint problems, that means you're on the road to recovery instead of, it's just everything. You know what I mean? Which is how it's been for a while. Now you can start pinpointing, look, we need a safety, we need a linebacker, we need linebackers, we need edge rusher, tight end. But you start pinpointing because you can see how we're starting to have free agents and draft picks fall into place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the so ever elusive graphic that John's looking for, the in the hunt. That's all he needed this year, was just in the hunt. In the hunt. Just the CBS graphic saying, here the guys are in the hunt for the playoffs. Didn't have to make the playoffs, just had to be in the hunt.
It's possible. I'm not giving up on it yet, man. I'm not giving up. We might be able to get on towards the end here.
Chasing that magic dragon, my man. You're just chasing that magic dragon.
Not even the playoffs. Right. So sad.
But no, you're so right, man, where we can start to pinpoint holes in this team, right? It's not even like that stupid graphic that we remember for the New York Knicks draft. Like, what do the New York Knicks need? Everything. It's like, oh my God, thanks. Yeah. And for the Jets, it was like that for some point. And now,
like this year.
It was. And now you're starting to see things fall into place, whether it's getting like Elijah Vera Tucker. We have Mekhi Becton, who's probably gonna be out for the remainder of the season, and we'll be back next season just so he can heal up that foot. You see that we have Michael Carter, we have Elijah Moore. You starting to see Braxton Berrios, right? Keelan Cole is looking pretty good on the outside. He could be another guy that could stay around for another year. Corey Davis is obviously going to be here for another year. You're starting to see these holes starting to fill up, even with John Franklin Meyer going on the defense. Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams. I mean, we got CJ Mosley. He's just going to be there because of his contract. We need safeties now. We need coverage linebackers. We need tight ends. Our cornerbacks, even though that was the worry at the beginning of the season, Bryce Hall, Michael Carter II, Brendan Eccles. These guys are looking good, all right? And even sometimes Javelin Goodry, all right, even though he comes in for when we're going like dime and so forth. But you're starting to see, as you point out, this team is starting to fill those holes, which is a good thing. That's progress. That means Joe Douglas, even though we have our critiques of him, right? He's not perfect, but you're starting to see the flaws in this team that we've had for so long starting to get the address, whether that's the O-line, the quarterback. It's been rough. We're going to get into Zach Wilson later today, but as of right now, it's a hold. We'll see, obviously, with the future, but it's a hold right now. We're not worried about the quarterback. We're just watching him grow and see what happens. But I agree with you that everything is starting to fall into place.
Those rookie cornerbacks, though, that you're talking about, man, because honestly, Joe Douglas has had as much of a perfect draft as you could possibly ask for, besides the one huge question mark, which is the second overall pick, which is Zach Wilson. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, the cornerbacks that you just mentioned and Eccles and Carter just sucks that they're injured, man. It's tough that they got injured today. But let's get right into it, right? And I'm gonna say the first thing that happened, and I'm not sure how much Vegas knew about it before. Okay, the fact that their best player, Justin Reed, their safety, had a fight with Houston going into this game and didn't get dressed from something that happened during the week. And it was out so much that Ryan Clark made a video of it this morning. I mean, clearly there's more than that meets the eye going on in that Texans locker room that we didn't know about, which is probably why there's a little hint why the money was on the Jets. It was kind of weird, but that's probably why someone knew something that was going on in there. So we kind of had the game cut out for us a little bit in that aspect. So that gave me a little bit of confidence, just like walking in there, because we came in hobbled, as we keep mentioning with these injuries. Michael Carter, who was probably, one of the, I would say, top 5 rookie running backs this year in the league. He's out for a couple weeks, and we're going in with Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman, who haven't gotten really much going on. Wide receivers, we kind of knew Corey Davis was going to be out, but the other guys, Elijah Moore, he was there. Everyone is, basically ready to roll. But they came out like garbage, man. Absolute garbage.
Yeah.
That first half was so bad, Alex. Tell me what happened, dude. Tell me what I have, what did I watch in that first half? My phone is obviously blowing up because Zach Wilson's doing terrible, and I have nothing to say. He was doing absolutely awful. Could you talk to me about that first half on offense? And we're looking at a depleted Texans. Literally, it's as if CJ Mosley just doesn't show up, or Marcus May doesn't show up during the practice week, and we look like trash. What the hell happened?
Dude, it was, and what's even more infuriating is that we start off the game really well. We got John Franklin Meyer with that interception, took it all the way down to the Houston 30, I think between the 30-35 area. And we didn't really move the ball that much at all to even get any true gainage. Thankfully, Matt Ndola was able to hit that first one today and get it through the upright to give us a lead. We actually had a lead, man. We actually had a lead today. Look at that.
For what felt like most of the game, to be honest with you. I know we're on the first half right now, but I felt like we had the lead. I'm keep looking at the clock. Are we down 2 touchdowns? I feel like we're down 2 touchdowns. We're up. We're up. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we end the half 14-11 being down by 3, but that first quarter was just awful. Zach Wilson, man, just forcing stuff again, overthrowing. I get there's rust, but on these short passes, man, he is just sailing it over these guys' heads. It is just gross. It is gross to watch.
Coming over with a PCL, man.
I don't know, man. You're a quarterback. You played football. I mean, this is
okay. Fair.
You play. I guess maybe because you played at BYU and you didn't get hit, and now you're getting hit. Maybe that changes the whole mindset. But even still, you have to go in knowing that you're going to get hit. I mean, it's not the first time he's getting hit, and maybe yes, you're worried about injuring your PCL. But when you start playing scared because you're going to get injured, that's when you play terrible, and that's when you get injured. You have to play loose, you have to play free, and that's when those things may or may not happen, but your body has to be relaxed. That's why sometimes they talk about saying when you don't know the hit's coming, it's actually better because your body's relaxed, it's not tense, and you'll take the hit a little bit better. But watch it. This is really like Zack.
Don't tell that to Zack and Flacco.
I'm about to say,
getting smacked on the blind side.
Zack is just between the interception and just moving, just his inability to move the ball, just take what the defense was giving him in the first half, and more so the first quarter. The second quarter, it was still gross, but we were able to pull something together. Thankfully we were able to pull. What is it? Who was it? Who was the touchdown by? It was was it Ward? Not Ward.
Austin Walter.
Walter.
Yeah, we're rolling with 4-string running backs here. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Zach Wilson rushing in a touchdown. I mean, talk about wacky, man. It's a really, really wacky offense. We have a wildcat 2-point conversion with our also third, fourth string quarterback at this point. I mean, it's really wacky out there, but that to me is shout out to LaFleur. Like LaFleur's the man. I think I'm completely on board now with LaFleur. If he can do this with scraps, like literal scraps, and if we're talking Saleh, like if we're freaking out at him a couple weeks ago, then you have to be going insane in your praise for him now. Tyrod Taylor is a real quarterback. David Johnson, Rex Burkhead, real running backs. Like, Cooks, like they have players, and we're able to scrap whatever we have, a game plan from whatever we're able to bring out there. And even guys who were picking up off the waivers, like Quincy Williams I'm pretty sure he's our best player on defense. But anyway, he got injured today. You know what I mean? Sheldon Rankins, he got injured today. And we're still able to pull out the W. And that's kudos to the coaching staff, man. You have to give it to them.
Yeah, for sure. No, like Michael Ford drawing up the plays to get, Austin Walton involved is just Austin Walter. Sorry. Wow. It's a four-string running back. It's like hard to keep up with all these names and injuries. It's ridiculous out here. But seeing Austin Walter get out here, and he looked like he was firing out of a cannon today, man. He was ready to make the most out of his opportunities. 9 rushing attempts, 38 yards, and 1 touchdown, averaging over 4 yards a carry. He looked pretty good out there, man, especially going up the middle. I mean, obviously, he's not an answer. He's not a solution, but he looked pretty good out there today, knowing that's just what you want to see. You want to see that we have depth in these type of break glass in case of emergency situations. So, but on that drive where they scored a touchdown, I mean, we have to give kudos to Zach Wilson. You have to give kudos to Michael Ford for drawing it up. Zach Wilson was taking the underneath and was actually connecting on these passes, whether it was to Braxton Berrios, Jamison Crowder, and Elijah Moore to get the Jets down there in order for Walter to go up there and be able to punch it in, and really just extend himself and just burst through that line. So that's where you start to see Zach Wilson coming together. You're like, okay, good drive. That's what you want to see. You want to see some sort of growth. And he wasn't just trying to push the ball downfield, literally trying to take what the defense was giving him. It was just more about accuracy at this place. You could say whether that's, Russ, shaking off Russ because he hasn't played in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that it's just being a rookie. I think it's all the above, that he's a rookie. We've seen him throw non-accurate passes before, whether it's underneath, swing passes, so forth, slants, this, that, and the third. And we've also know that as a rookie, you're going to be nervous. So I think all of it is together. I don't know if it's necessarily Russ by itself, but it was good to see that he was starting to put together a strong performance after having what looked like a shitty performance. And you're like, oh my God, we're going to go through this again, again, because it was 14-3, man. The Houston Texans looked like they were ready to bust this one open on us before he got the touchdown. And then you had Josh Johnson, Wildcat out here, run it in.
Crazy.
That 2-point conversion.
No, seriously, that play was nuts. When I was just like, what is Josh Johnson doing here? Like, first of all, I'm looking for Zach Wilson, and then I see Josh Johnson, like both, like those things like clicking in my head at the same time. I was legitimately in panic mode. I was like, why don't we want to win this game? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just give it to your quarterback and have him make a play or just run the ball? Running the ball was pretty effective with Coleman and Ty Johnson, which talk about scraps. You know what I mean? I don't know if those guys are even making squads on other teams.
Dude, I don't think so. I think Tevin Coleman for sure, just because he's a name. Ty Johnson, I'm not so sure. I mean, he's put together like a decent resume to be a third stringer.
He did slip though in that little pass. Was it a run? I'm not sure if it was a run or a pass. He almost broke it. He almost broke through.
Honestly, as a Jets fan at this point, I feel like everyone slips on this damn team. So like everyone in there, like whether it's Corey Davis.
Oh, I think it was a rush. No, I think so. It was a rush. No. I'm not fall. Like, he slipped through the defense. And he almost got through.
Oh, yeah. No, he almost did. He almost busted one loose, man.
Yeah.
How about that? How about when we, what was it? The fumble happened and we lost. The Jets lost about 15 to 20 yards, and then we needed.
Well, thank God it went out of bounds.
Yeah, thank God it went out of bounds, and then Ty Johnson gets you the 20 yards to get
Into
back
field
in the
goal
field goal
range.
range.
That didn't work out, but yeah.
That did not work out.
Yeah, I
Gross.
mean, first of all, do you remember me talking about McPherson all offseason, trying to get him for the Jets to draft him? And he's absolutely murdering it on Cincinnati, which hurts my soul. But anyway, we have a kicker situation again. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we draft one. But sticking to this game, that's what I learned. I learned we have a kicking problem. We have a huge tight end problem. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Alex, that Zach Wilson is necessarily the answer for the New York Jets. I'm not going to be shocked if there's at some point this offseason a name that's dropped, some sort of quarterback that wants to be traded, any like big name quarterback that the organization might be interested in Zach Wilson. I'm not going to be shocked if the Jets pick up the phone. I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean, he looks good in Zach Wilson. He looks good at some points. I'm not like out on him, but he's not untouchable. I don't think the Jets think that either. I really, really don't. Just by watching him today, you got to see the flaws. You got to see them.
They are. You know, when we discussed this, man, and I won't shy away saying that we have the most talented QB out of this draft, but listen to my words, talented. That doesn't mean the best. That doesn't mean the greatest. Talented. Cam Newton is very talented. That doesn't mean he's the best.
Not anymore. But yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, that's what talented means. Like Wilson has the mobility, he has the arm strength, he has the accuracy especially for deep balls, right? Like all of that is there. Like we saw him punching in today to run. And I guess we're going to do the Zach Wilson thing now since we're on offense. But you just see there's just something there, man. There's just something there. And this was the concern when we talked, man. And of course, like we're excited. We're rooting for Zach Wilson to do well. He's our quarterback. We want him to do well. That's not going to change. But when you're objectively looking at what we've seen so far and you're wondering about the growth as a quarterback, yes, he hasn't played that many games, but the flaws in just getting up to the line, reading the defense, making the easy passes, especially the easy passes, man. I don't care if you're a rookie or not. Like dump off passes should not be that hard. 5-yard passes should not be that hard. Swing passes should not be that hard. They should not be sailing over your receiver's head. And even some of the passes that he had that went for a lot of yards, whether it's to Braxton Berrios and Elijah Moore, they were low, man. Like these guys had to dig it out. The run that Berrios had today for 46 yards, he had to dig that thing out of the ground.
Yeah.
He had to drop his hips, catch it in a basket, and get up and run. When if that was just straight at his chest, maybe he could have broken that out further, right? Instead of having to put that extra work in. Still an impressive play, but maybe about that. How about, or maybe like Elijah Moore and the catch that we thought was a catch, right? What if that was just a little bit out in target that the cornerback or the defensive back, I don't remember if it was the cornerback, didn't get a hand in on it, right?
Yeah.
What if? And some of the catches that Elijah Moore had to get too, even for his longest one for 22 yards, he had to go dig that one out. These are the concerning things when you look at Zach Wilson. Like, should it really be that hard? Should it really be that hard? So I saw a tweet out there today saying that this is the next. Is Zach Wilson just another Josh Rosen?
That's tough.
That is rough out there. If that's
tough.
Yeah, but
more like Sammy Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold. See the thing, man. I'm
not out on Zach Wilson though. That's why I don't want to get into this whole thing.
No, it's not being out. But no, you bring up a good point though, man. It's not being out on the kid. but it's just looking at him for what he is. Because when you get Romo, you hear Rodgers saying that, oh man, this is like another Mahomes, this is another Aaron Rodgers, and all this, that, and third. You start to get these expectations, right? Your expectations rise because you're listening to these former or current players who have established themselves. Like Romo was a good quarterback for as much as like everyone loved to joke on him. He was just injury prone. Aaron Rodgers is a like good to great quarterback, depending on how you want to rank him based on his win totals and so forth. When you hear your colleagues, like not our colleagues, obviously Zach Wilson's colleagues, like talk about you would expect them to see something, to have some sort of confidence to say that. Now, obviously, Zach Wilson's still young. Things can change. But it just doesn't look. Nothing is screaming, this is truly the guy. He's the answer.
Exactly.
And
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fine. And I think. And
if Russell Wilson's calling, if Seattle's calling, I think the Jets picking up the phone.
I think you have to. Yeah, for sure.
Just saying. That's what I got in this game. That's what I learned from this game. I'm really happy the Jets won. It's going to suck when this affects our draft stuff, but I think we have a couple more wins in our playbook. This is one of the games that I didn't really have pinned, right? That I think means something to the Jets. So I'm happy that they won it. You know what I mean? I think Tampa, of course, all the division games remaining, but also the Tampa game. I think the Eagles game matters to the Jets as well. And that's pretty much a bulk of it. I know we have the Saints in the middle there too, which, that's just a normal game. So there's still, I think some juice left in this team. And why can't Zach Wilson get better next week? Do you project Zach Wilson is able to have more of what he did in the second half next week? I know this is a rapid reaction, but just like a quick projection, or are you likely to, are you going to be shocked? Let me put it this way. Are you going to be shocked if he comes out more in the first half, or are you going to be shocked more if he comes out more in the second half? Because in my perspective, if Zach Wilson comes out next week and balls out from the start, I'm going to be shocked. I'm gonna be like, wow, I did not see 100%. This coming. Okay, you're with me.
Yeah. 100. Oh, yeah. He is not. Look, he had a really good game against Tennessee. He balled out in that one. That was.
I can see him doing well, just not from start. I need him to do well from start to finish. So I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised if he's able to do it. At this point, I'm just not expecting it. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. No, and I'm totally right behind you on that, because outside the Tennessee Titans game, most of his games have been below average. Yeah. Multiple interceptions, a lot of turnovers, a lot of holding onto the ball for way too long, throwing behind his receivers, overthrowing his receivers, just sailing some of his passes, as we were just discussing. That's why we go back. That's why you brought it up. Like, the Jets would pick up the phone that Wilson's not untouchable. But I also want to say that it's not, like, yeah, you would pick up the phone if someone's saying like, all right, hey, we'll take Zach Wilson, we'll trade you Russell Wilson, Wilson for Wilson. But
no, I'm just saying that's just like, because going into this game, man, like first game off of injury, and I'm trying to give him a little bit of leeway because it's the first game off injury, but I'm just like coming in like, all right, guys, like this is it. Like, no matter what, like I'm ready to roll with Zach Wilson. But think about how everyone's feeling about Mike White. Oh, one more chance. Let's keep going. Let's see. Well, Zach Wilson,
yeah, but you know what?
I feel weird. Like I just don't feel good about this whole situation. And I don't know. I think it might be his knee. I promise you, I think it all changed when I saw him limping again at that sideline when he tweaked his knee again. I think that's what's scared. I think that's what it is that scared. The first half stunk, and then when he finally started getting it together, his knee got tweaked, and that scenario just scares the hell out of me.
I think it's this, man. I think it's the expectations between, you brought up Mike White. We could talk about Josh Johnson. Let's talk about Zach Wilson. And not saying that we're going to talk about like each and every one who's going to do better, but let's talk about expectations between all three of these guys. Mike White, Josh Johnson, both in the same bucket as no expectations. Zero. Like, we had zero expectation. They come out and they overperform. So when they overperform because you have no expectation, you're like, I need to see more because we haven't seen it from this highly risen expectation, as I talked about. When you have Aaron Rodgers, Tony Romo, everybody else just touting this kid as like it's Trevor Lawrence and it's definitely Zach Wilson. All right.
Yeah.
When you have Chris Sims and just like hyping up somebody for so long and saying it's going to be Zach Wilson, it's going to be Zach Wilson, it's going to be Zach Wilson. Look how we could throw off platform. All these things, all of these things. He's the Mormon Mahomes.
I remember that episode when you're like, what does that even mean? Throwing off platform.
Dude, I just love how new terminology just gets created out of nowhere. It's like he throws off platform. I was like, this is this season because we were not talking about that last season. We're not talking about the season before when Darnold was coming off. No one was talking about throwing off platform. I don't know where that term came from, but fine. I know what it means. It's just comical. That's like, huh? Where? What? I want to know who coined it, but no, it's like expectations that we go back to the quarterback, right? Zach Wilson has these high expectations and he's not performing up to these high expectations. If you're raising that type of expectation, I'm expecting this kid to come out and ball out like Russell Wilson, like a young Tony Romo, like whoever, right? Like I'm expecting good, like accurate short thrown passes at least. And when you hype this kid up and I see a young quarterback overthrowing, underthrowing, not even making the easy connections, it's like,
yeah.
What is there to be hyped about? Like, and then that's why when you and I, like, we were talking about, like, do you keep Sam Darnold, all that stuff? And like, it's fine. It happened. Like, we're over it. We're not lamenting that we should keep Sam Darnold, and we're not even making that case. But the thought process was there's something fishy about somebody who's being so hyped right now, who didn't play in a division that was very competitive and had a great offensive line and a great team that just blew everyone out of the water. And then you see that. And I'm not saying that he can't, I'm not saying Zach Wilson can't get better, but it's just, we're seeing that those are our concerns.
Yeah.
And it's kind of transferring.
The pushback is he won the game.
Yeah, we won the game. Yeah, no, we won the game. So like, what can you complain? Like, and this is where I'll say this: he finished strong. Like, it wasn't great, but he finished strong versus how he started, which is good. That's progress.
And that run was sick.
That run by him was awesome. How he extended, that was great. Especially, like
on the option too, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely phenomenal job by him. Like to get that touchdown, he cleaned it up. And you could say, how did he finish strong? What are you talking about, Alex? How did this kid finish strong? Well, let's look at the last couple of weeks. Multiple interceptions, just turning the ball over, holding it on for too long, not being decisive. I can actually say he was a little bit more decisive in the second half. It wasn't perfect, but he was more decisive. He didn't turn the ball over. He got you that touchdown. And if anything, to say the least, he managed the game really well, which he hasn't even been able to do the last couple of weeks. Yep. That's progress. Okay. Now, that being said, you can still have concerns, but you can also recognize what he did today. So he had a strong finish. Was it pretty? No. Did anything about this game say this is our guy? Tennessee Titans games had that for sure, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That's why I say, that's why I said at the beginning, the holes are being filled, and Zach Wilson is just a placeholder right now. We can't say yes, we can't say no. We're waiting to see what happens.
Fair. That's fair. It sucks to talk about him like this after this game, but those are just my immediate thoughts.
But it's fair, man. I mean, this is how you evaluate players and evaluate teams. It stinks, but he also hasn't given us anything I just can't be a homer and a delusional fan, be like, he's great. Look at this.
We won.
Yeah. Why are we all talking about this? It's like, that's cool. Like, I think I'll say this. Someone posted, would you rather have, it was shout out to our guy DJ. He's like, no moral victories. Give me the ugly win. Cause I think someone tweeted, like, would you rather see growth from this team or wins, or an ugly win? And DJ said ugly win. And I'm gonna put something on this, and I want your thoughts on it too. Here's the caveat: first year, very young team. Not really looking for ugly wins because it won't mean anything. Because we saw wins with Mark Sanchez, and then it didn't really give us long future success, right? If I see growth out of a team, and this is only for year one, after that, I need to see wins. Year one, I'm talking about. I'll take the moral victories for year one as long as I see improvement.
No.
I can't do ugly wins, bro.
No,
Because it
these
doesn't mean
ugly
anything.
wins. I'm gonna tell you something. These ugly wins are more morale victory than any morale you could ever get from a loss. Getting a W from the hard work you put in, and you finally trust the coach, and that you build the locker room rapport, and you build your veterans that are staying with you next year. I think that makes a difference, man. Going into Houston with no safeties, with no players, Zach Wilson off a PCL, and winning the game when your kicker can't kick, I think it means a lot. That's more of a moral victory than a draft pick from 6 to 5 or from 8 to 7. That's my opinion.
I'm not really thinking about the draft pick. I'm not looking for them to tank.
Well, that's the point. That's the point of the question. The point of that question, Alex, the undertone of that question is I'd rather the Jets look good and we lose so that we get a better draft pick. That's no one actually cares if we, that's the point is we want to get a better draft pick and it's not a lottery. It's by the loss. And so last year we got the stupid wins. People got mad about it. We actually fired that whole staff. So to me, last year is more of a point in my head. If you're going to fire the staff, there's no morale, to be got from a win, but they just didn't want to go 0-16, which I also get because that stains the franchise. I'm sure it lowers the value of the franchise too if you're the owner. And they have egos. So I don't know. For now, this win I think was big. If you're talking like week, and that's why, by the way, I think that's why the NFL has made the last week of the season always against a division opponent. So that it's not just like, oh, who cares? We're not in it anyway. It's like, all right, even if we're both not in it, we're versing the Dolphins, it's going to be like, we want to beat the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be that ego. There's going to be that morale. Like you're going to play them next year. And if it's the same coaching staff on both sides of the ball, it means something. So for me, maybe hindsight will be 2020. You know what I mean? When we miss Steph Curry by one pick, when we miss Brett Favre by one pick, when we take Ken O'Brien instead of Dan Marino, when we do all these things, like I understand when we could have got maybe Trevor Lawrence, which could have been better, but he stinks as well. I get it all, but right now, talking about moral victories, give me the W, man. I don't care how we get it. Just give me W's.
And that's interesting how you framed it. I agree with you with what you're saying. I guess from my standpoint, without the draft pick, really thinking about the draft pick, because I wasn't really thinking about tanking, because in my head, I was still thinking about that we're getting wins. Not that we're losing every single game, that we're still getting wins. And those games are still showing growth as a team. Not necessarily that we're, we put up 20 points, but we lose by 24 we lose by like a field goal every single week. That we get like those 6-7 wins, right? And we look good and we're improving over it instead of, and when I hear ugly wins, it's like, oh, we rely on the backbone of our defense because they're the best thing out there and they're carrying us all the way. And our quarterback really has a lot of issues that we don't want to talk about. But because this team's really good, maybe he will come through and look great in some moments, like Mark Sanchez. And that's what I'm thinking. And I agree with your point. I like the ugly W in that aspect. What I don't like in the ugly W is that we just put a facade over an issue that we're not really addressing. We're not really taking a look at. And that's my concern with that. So I agree with what you're saying though. But that's my outlook on it. Very interesting question. I like these type of debates with you. But let's wrap this thing up with the defense real quick. And let me hear your thoughts on the defense, because we're not going to talk about Matt Amendola today. Dude needs to be off this team. Simple as that. Need a new kicker. No, nothing about it, bro. Nothing against you. You're probably a nice guy out there, but can't be missing the easy ones just by hooking it mad left.
I think it's called a shank. Proper terminology.
Sure, I know it's a shank, but it's worse than a shank.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, dude. I mean, the defense was good, man. The defense, you hit it on the top. John Franklin Myers finally coming coming together with that tip and pick six. I mean, that's every lineman's dream. It has to be the tip and the six. So let's call it the tip six, I guess. That was awesome. And he had 2 sacks. So he had a hell of a game. This defensive line is going to be crazy. Yeah, we all know it. So, I mean, there's nothing new there. Our linebackers are absolute garbage, man. I can't say anything nice about it. Like, I know, Quincy Williams had a sack, and as we noted, he got injured. He's an awesome pickup. I'm glad we have him. Ronald Blair had a sack. That was cool. Other than that, like, what are we looking at, man? You know what I mean? Our safeties stink, our linebackers stink. It's the same old story. I need Rankins to be healthy next year. I need our D-line to be healthy. I need to grab a couple edge rushers. And, of course, we're going to fill in with the linebackers and the safeties, which brings me to the cornerbacks, which did fantastic again. So I'm happy with it all. I'm really afraid of CJ Mosley next year on this team, unfortunately. I mean, I love him. I love the guy. I'm hoping he does well. I'm hoping it's because he has no help. But he just looks like he's trying so hard out there to be good. And so he was good today, but he looks like he's putting in so much effort, which is great. But then like that, then it's obvious why, like for, a couple of games ago, it's obvious that he's not going to make a tackle. You know what I mean? When he's playing the Colts, like it's so hard for him. It looks like he has to exert a lot of effort for him to play well. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just not very sustainable watching him play. It doesn't. It's not a very easy motion as it used to be for him watching him play.
I think the thing is that for CJ Mosley, it comes to having a complete team, right? The defense has just been hit with so many injuries that guys haven't been able to play with each other fully.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just look at Gerard Davis. I think Gerard Davis is also just like should be on the spotlight because he hasn't necessarily been the guy that we were expecting to get to be placed
injured
next to CJ. I know, but that's the thing. Like, he's injured, and even when he did come back,
he's back now. He's still injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could have been back even when he was back and he was healthy playing with us off that injury. You still could have told me that he was injured. I'd be like, where is this guy?
He's still injured right now, and he's playing. Yeah,
yeah, but it's like, I think they were expecting to have someone better wind up next to CJ, and we're not getting that. And so CJ has to compensate for the other holes that are going on this defense. It's just not complete. And I don't put it on him. As you said, he's trying out there. He's putting that effort out there. I think it's just for him because defense is true. It's not like the offense where maybe you have a wide receiver who can just break tackles and just create something and something happens. That's not how the defense works. The defense is truly a unit. You can have one guy who's just dominant at his position, right? Like, you can have a dominant nose tackle, just bullies the center, bullies the guards, gets through and just causes havoc. But it doesn't mean anything if the other guys can't get pressure, because that means they can just focus on that one guy. Doesn't mean anything if your cornerbacks can't cover a wide receiver, even if you're getting to those guys. And I think that goes the same thing for CJ Mosley. We're talking about Quincy, Quinton Williams, John Franklin Meyer, whoever else is out there with them. Like, they're doing an okay job, but we're missing our top pass rusher in Carl Lawson. Guys are getting injured in the secondary. We don't have Marcus May. And so, like, what else can we rely? Like, he can't cover and do everything, as Giselle would say about Tom Brady. He can't throw the ball and catch the ball.
Oh,
CJ can't cover and blitz at the same time.
Oh, God.
But I don't put it all on him. I'd like to see this defense just fully healthy. But hey, I still like what I saw for the most part because they got big stops when we needed it, especially down the stretch. Seeing them stop Tyrod Taylor on the 4th down, like 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. Like, this is the stuff that you need to see out of your defense to lock it up, because Robert Saleh couldn't trust his kicker today. He's like, I'd rather run the clock out and punt the damn thing than try to go for a field goal. That tells me this guy's got to be gone.
Yeah.
Because it just picked up a kicker. So this guy's out of here. But it's good to see the defense come through. Good job by the defense today. They had a good week last week. Yep, for sure.
But yeah, that's all I got in this game.
Same, man. This is all I got as well. Good win. I know I came in with some energy because it's always good to have your football team have a win. And I think I'm just more excited that both of our teams got a win 2 consecutive days in a row, so we can start off this week on a high note. But it's a little somber because you see we only got 6 games left. You're starting to see, as you pointed out, the holes that need to be filled, and just really, it's just hard to watch this team see the holes that need to be filled and struggle with just another bad team.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
Yeah.
So on that note, unless you got something else to add, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, Etc. podcast. You know what to do, guys. If you listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to give us a 5-star review and to leave a comment. That helps us out so greatly. That way we can grow this community and others can find this podcast that you guys are listening to. Really helps us out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't listen there, and if you don't have Apple Podcasts, it's okay. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. Also, we're on YouTube now. So please make sure to go to our channel, Knicks, Jets, Etc. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like bell when you're watching the videos, and hit that notification bell. Also, while you're at the KJE YouTube channel, you will see that we have winning picks weekly. All right. That's John and our video producer, Greg. They got a gambling podcast where they go over the NFL and the NBA slates. The NBA is coming out soon. They've been doing the NFL the entire season so far and been doing really well, I might add. By the way, went 3-0 on their picks for Thanksgiving, man. Got a
killer Thanksgiving and a killer Sunday. Let's go.
These guys know their stuff.
Killing.
I downloaded the FanDuel app because I will have to go through Connecticut at some point because I'm going to a wedding very soon in this December, and I will be placing a bet because I'm going to be listening to these guys as I usually do, and gotta take this up, man. Starting to get it there. And then last, but certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Please make sure to follow us, interact with us. We love talking sports. We love talking to all you guys. It's always a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in for another Jets episode. Catch you later this week for another Knicks episode and a Jets breakdown. All right.
The Eagles week. Let's go, Jets. Break the curse, baby.
Don't wait to put an end to junk sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale and save up to $500 when you